Here are the ingredients for my favorite chocolate cake in the whole world. I've made this probably for 10 years. I've probably made well over 200 cakes. And I use a combination of chocolates. Today we're making high fiber chocolate cake. High fiber chocolate cake, like everything I make, has 5 grams of fiber or more. And this cake is no exception. It includes cocoa powder, which has fiber in it. It includes whole wheat. It includes dates, which have fiber in it. The whole wheat has fiber in it. So it is a wonderful cake. I've taken it to many parties and everybody loves it and no one knows. And then I frost it with a lovely nut butter that just carries it the distance. Right here I have your jelly and Hershey's. Sometimes I throw in Trader Joe's. I try and reduce the sugar and reduce the fat. So I am using a Mott's applesauce to reduce the oil a little bit. And then I add in a little bit of flaxseed, which you can't taste. If you add in too much flaxseed, it's sort of nutty and you can taste it. So I just add a little bit. But instead of using sugar, I am using dates. I am using pitted dates, which I'm soaking, and then my buttermilk and organic oils. So it does have baking soda and baking powder, which is unusual, and it does have eggs. So you have all this leavening, which makes it beautiful. And since there is whole wheat flour, whole wheat pastry flour back here, the baking soda, baking powder does lighten things up, but you need it to because it's a little bit heavier than all-purpose flour, which has been so refined. The dates, even though I've soaked them in warm water, they have to be pureed. Even if you did medjool, which is a little chewier than this one, you have to, this is a Diglett newer date, you have to mix everything together in the blender because those dates are tough. They're very dense. They have the fiber in them. They're tasty. They're like caramel, but they're dense. So we mix the eggs, the applesauce, the homemade vanilla, the buttermilk, the espresso powder put into the hot water, and then the soaked dates, and then the dry go together. The pastry flour, the baking soda, the baking powder, the sea salt, the flax, and the cocoa, and then I combine those. So when you cook with high fiber, the moisture, it goes into the fiber foods. So you need a little bit more moisture. Scoot that back a tiny bit. Buttermilk. Coffee. Espresso, and then the 2 eggs. And there is the dry mix together. You have your flour, your cocoa, your flax, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And now, now I'm going to mix it. Your liquid into your mix. Get it all over there. Now remember, the dates are going to add moisture. They're going to add sweetness. So you want to make sure that you've got them ground up as much as you can. So I've got the batter all mixed up, but just know that it is super thick. The cocoa powder is heavy, the flour is heavy, and it's going to absorb your moisture. So you have to just make sure that you have enough liquid. So this is going to be thick. This is going to be fudgy, super tasty. This is going to be thick. And now that I've stirred it completely, just enough to incorporate things, I'm going to let it sit a minute because the liquids will absorb into the flour. So the buttermilk and the water and the applesauce are going to soak into the flour, and actually the cocoa has fiber as well. And then we're going to frost this with peanut butter frosting. Yeah. I ended up having parchment paper rounds for the 6-inch instead of the 8 or 9-inch, which I usually have. So I went with the 6-inch. They've been in there for about 32 minutes, and you just pull out a toothpick as clean as you can, as long as there's no liquid, right? Let's try this one. Yeah, the chocolate's very dark, very thick, really fudgy. Then we're going to frost with peanut butter, believe it or not. And it's just peanuts and a little bit of salt. And because I love low sodium, it's just perfect. It's just 2 ingredients, salt and peanuts. So I will let those cool down, and then I'm going to frost them. And because I use really dark chocolate, they get dark. I don't use milk chocolate. I just prefer dark chocolate. So they're going to cool off now. As you can see, it came out super fudgy. I had to cut into it. I couldn't take it. I've been wanting chocolate cake for like a month. So I decided to make it on a really snowy day. But you won't be upset about this. Now, this cake isn't for everybody, but it is for somebody who eats high fiber, who is watching their sugar, who is watching their natural ingredients, who's watching their sodium. You know, gone are the days where I can just dive into something that is sickly sweet because I can taste that sugar, and I can't stand that anymore because natural fruits and vegetables, natural ingredients have such a better flavor than refined sugar. I just prefer better ingredients, and even if it's a smaller bite, I just prefer better tasting food. So here's what I do. I just take it old school. I just put the peanut butter right on there. And what I do is I let it sit, and then I take it to the freezer. And I bring it back out of the freezer, and that's quite a bit of peanut butter. Get that cleaned up. But that is how I like it. Cheers. Now that's a perfect late afternoon snack. Thank you for watching Fiberlish. I'm Michelle, the Fiberista, and I'll see you next time.